Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Getting Creative with. This week's theme is containers. And we are going to be looking at what Mackenzie, Aurora, Christopher, and myself, Ksenia, have done with this week's theme, what we've played with, what we've done, how we've made containers, did we use containers? I don't even know, guys. Containers are ubiquitous. I'm looking at like at least 7 right in front of me. Don't ask what they all are. It's embarrassing. My room's a mess. But yeah, so you guys, what do we have this week? I think, let's see, Mackenzie, you are up.
I made a basket. I crocheted a basket.
Just casually crocheted a basket.
Yep. My mom had gotten me a kit for it's basically a crochet kit, and it was to make a basket. And so that's what I got for my birthday. So I finally sat down and made it. So it's all like really, really tight stitches so that it's stiff. But I don't know what's up with it though, because it's a little like limp a little bit, because I did the knots as tight as possible and it's still kind of falling over, but it works. I ran out of yarn too, so I had to improvise. So that's why it's blue.
I thought that was like a design choice. That's so cool.
Me too. I thought that's how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Nope, I ran out of yarn.
A way to improvise. What are you going to use it for, though?
I'm going to use it for my sister-in-law's Christmas gift, actually. We give her homemade applesauce every year for her family. We give her some chocolate. So I'm going to put some homemade dishcloths in there, some applesauce, get a couple other things she likes, and she gets the basket along with it.
Wow. Oh, well, hello. A little Kit Kat friend. Love it when the pets of AADL make an appearance.
So what kind of yarn is it? Is it cotton or acrylic, or is it?
I don't remember. I think it might be a wool acrylic blend. It was a heavier weight. I think the weights are 1 through 5, and it was a 4.
Okay.
And I used a hook that was 2 sizes smaller than the recommended, so I could do it in tighter, smaller stitches to give it that stiffness.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been crocheting long?
No. I learned a little bit in high school and didn't do anything with it until about a year or so ago, and then I started doing more things. So I've made little projects.
Okay.
So like more of my crafts for the different themes will probably be something like crochet based.
Right. Wow. Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So how steep was the learning curve for you? Like, it's not your first project, but like, was it difficult to get the basket shape? Was it like, or have you?
I had to redo the basket twice. This was my 3rd attempt. I undid it all the way twice.
Oh my gosh.
Because I reached a point the first time when I went, oh, this isn't tight enough. It's not holding its shape, and I'm using up the yarn way too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time, I realized that I still wasn't doing it tight enough, but I was getting the shape right. I was getting the rows correct. I just needed to undo it and do it even tighter. So it was, what the learning curve for me is I have a hard time with the gauge. So how tight I have to hold the string, how tight my stitches have to be. But like the stitches are pretty basic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's all single crochets and double crochets stitches, with the occasional slip stitch at corners.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Those are the 3 stitches I used. So it was pretty easy that way. It's just how tight do I have to make it? Making sure I kept a very strict count, which is probably the issue of why I ran out of yarn in the first place, is I probably was adding extra stitches and not realizing it. because it's really hard to keep account when you're in a round.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going in a circle. So once I reach back to the point where I started for that row, sometimes looks like I'm still continuing. So I'm spiraling up, and that gets hard.
Wow. Well, I hope we get to see a photo of it like filled with homemade applesauce, which also, that's super cool.
That and pickles. I mean, my husband a week and a half ago made homemade pickles, so.
There you go. I love that everyone just always creates all the time. Cool. And okay, so I have to ask about the blue. You said you ran out of the lighter yarn. Is the blue just like something you had on hand, or was it like something that you, I don't know, is...
Yes, it was something I had on hand. I'll take a picture of my basement, but I have a lot of books. I have a private library, but on top of those bookcases, I just have yarn. It's all my huge yarn collection that my family will just give me balls, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do with these because I have one skein, and usually projects take between 2 or 3. So I just have a bunch of mismatched yarn, and I figured the blue was a thicker 4 yarn, so I figured I could potentially do a tight knot with it that it could take over. And it kind of worked, and it's fun.
Nice. Crochet is something I've been like, a friend of mine taught me how to do the basic like single and double stitch. And my mother-in-law like made me a sweater, and she always like makes people clothes and things like that. That's like one thing I'm really intimidated to do, but it's cool to know that kind of like playing the guitar, if you know 3 basic knots, you can make a basket. So I really appreciate seeing that.
Yeah, and it's on the floor behind me, but I also have a blanket I made in college for my husband, and it's 2 stitches, but it's a full blanket. It was just whether or not I put a stitch or I skipped was basically it.
Neat. That's inspiring.
Yeah, there are so many crocheters at the library. It's great.
Yeah, I think Heidi and Nancy and Lucy.
Yeah. I think Heidi had the what was it? Who was it? Had the finger knitting video online.
Yep.
Yeah. It
really sounds right.
Glorious. Thank you so much for that amazing basket. Aurora, what do you have for us this week?
Well, I didn't make a container like Kenzie. I actually use container instead to make what I'm making. I'm using cans. So you see a different size of can that I use. This is a big can. And then there is little cans. And these one is supposedly movable for the beads. I want to make a habitat for the bumblebees. So all of these is removable in case I ever get lucky to get bees. I want to be able to harvest them. So I make them to be able to come off of it and then also hang it at the same time. And then I thought it'd be fun to decorate it, look like a little, and to hang it. So that's what I did. I happen to have bamboos in my yard, so I cut them because you need holes so that the bee could go in to put their honey hives and stuff. So that's what I did for using my container at home to make something for the backyard instead.
Wow.
I've never seen bamboo as a bee home.
Oh, I've seen people use it in the store. You could buy it. And I thought, I have some in my backyard. So I just cut it up and use it. Why buy it if I have the material? And it's a good way to reuse the material, the cans and the bamboos and stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Where will you hang it up?
I'm gonna hang it up in my backyard, and so hopefully there's some bees show up and maybe get some honey. Who knows?
I love that it's not only, like just a container full of combs for the bees, it's also bee themed. So you could totally have just like left it as a container full of bamboo and we would have been like, that's so cool. Wow, you want to save the bees. But you made it look like a giant bumblebee. That's so cool.
I know. I thought, well, might as well make it look like, because usually they build wooden house and put all these stuff in it, and I thought something different.
Yeah. So you made a birdhouse now, and now you've made a bee house.
Right. Exactly. I just like to be, I mean, it's very limited material what we have, and use it for our craft. So it's good to use what we have at home and also the nature and provide it.
Yeah. So do you have flowers planted around that you found have attracted bees in the past?
No, I have not. But I mean, people, they put their beehives for helping the bee pollinate and get bees. So I'm hoping to hang this by some flowers.
Cool.
And finish. Yeah. To encourage bee pollinate, to get some pollination going too. For the garden and stuff.
So what do you have on the outside of that large container? Because just from the quick look that I got, it looked like it was covered in cork.
I montage brownish to give it colors instead of shiny. So that's, instead of painted, I thought I just montage tissue paper brownish.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I would use some of the plastic container. I cut it for the eyes and the wings and stuff. So
nice. And now, is that larger container a coffee can?
Yes, it could. I don't remember where it's come from. Either a coffee can or some duck can that have plastic lid, and so just any kind of cans.
Cool. Neat. Well, let us know if you have some solo bees that move in. My uncle's a beekeeper. Like he's a bee scientist, so he has a bunch of hives out in Almont and like little singular bee houses like that as well too. And apparently lemongrass oil attracts them. So FYI.
All right, it's good to know. I'll try to put some there. See how lucky I get.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. And it looks like I am up next on the list. So as I said last week, we are at the cottage at the lake. So most of my crafts are not here, but we do have egg containers because everyone here eats eggs, and we have containers for milk. So I just tore up a few of those. And I use the egg containers, like the cardboard ones, to make a little fairy.
Oh, okay.
And there's this whole culture here, like the kids, when they come to Higgins Lake, they make little fairy houses and homes for them and things like that. So I figure, well, I may as well kind of participate, have one indoors, because typically they're found outdoors. So I took an almond milk carton and I cut it into a house shape, and then I covered it with my wool yarn, like the scraps that I had left over from the weaving project. So now I have a little fairy in her little pretty dress and a house that she can stay in. So this was just fun to make and fun to play with, because I've never been one to make or participate in the fairy houses movement, I guess. But I was really inspired while I was here, and the woods are almost magical as well. So you can almost imagine that there are fairies living inside of it. So
are the wings also made out of the carton?
They are, yeah. All of it is the carton. The body, like the torso and the head, I just cut out and hammered flat. the body, like I said, very limited in what I have here. So I just used that. I did bring my paint though, so I made her a little pretty dress. And no legs though, but you can kind of just assume that she has legs under her skirt.
What's her name?
I'm going to name her Josephina after my tarantula. I used to have a tarantula years ago who's been the topic of many family conversations while we were up here. So I have decided to name her Josephina in honor of the tarantula, which has brought so many looks of disgust to people's faces. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little project, and I've mostly for me, it was just really important that I was able to participate somewhat and like take a step in the direction of participating in the fairy houses.
Right.
Because I really do want to do more of that, and this was a good way to do it. So, egg cups for the skirt. Hammered out container from the eggs for the body and the wings, and the almond milk container for her little house.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very, very fun. The roof, I mean, it looks like a house, but there's definitely no roof on there. So it's just, she's magical though.
Yeah. It's indoor, so it doesn't need a roof. So
Right.
Yeah, true. She's a house fairy.
Yeah.
Little kitchen fairy. All right. Christopher, what do you have for us this week?
Well, I love the theme containers, and I was thinking for actually a few weeks, what could a container be? It could be your head, it could be your heart, and I thought about putting a little motor on a box, so I was just going off in so many directions. And then I decided to do something I've never done, which is really simple, paper mache. And so I was looking online for recipes, and my wife said, no, dum-dum, you just dump some flour in and some water and mix it with your hand, and that's it. So I've got a box that I made, and I've just put it in the sun to dry. And now I'm curious if I'll be able to get the lining off the box. I thought I might try to do it live, but we'll see if this will work or not. We might have to edit the swearing out. Yeah, I think it's glued right to the box despite lining the outside with plastic. Let's see.
okay.
Get this loose. So I realized you could almost make your own shipping box out of just flour, water, and newsprint. But
That's so cool. This is so meta right now. Like you literally just made your own box. You deconstructed the box and to make your own box.
right, but it is stuck on there. So I will have to send a finished photo when I get it off the box. So anyway, I picked it because I had never made paper mache before, and it was high time that I learned. So, so just straightforward.
So how many layers do you have to put on it?
Well,
1, 2, 3?
you can probably put as many as you want on. I only put really 2 thick layers on, but because I wanted it to dry in time. So I put a layer on early this morning, and then I put another one on, and I just put it in the sun, which was a great way to dry it. And, I would normally put on even more, I think. And I was partly inspired by the Festivals that happens every year. Some of the figures in that are just amazing. And so I wanted to try to get into that a little bit, just to see how it was done. So.
Did you use a liner between the box and the paper mache?
I did. I used plastic, and I taped the plastic onto the box, and I'm not quite sure what happened. I thought it'd be a wonderful grand reveal live. And it stuck. So anyway, it was fun to learn though.
Yeah. Oh, the perils of live television. My goodness. Yeah, the glue craft that we did, Vaseline was super duper helpful in that regard, like using it as a barrier. But yeah, I was interested to know like what you used as that as well. So did you just like you literally use just a shipping box for your box template?
I did. And then I found heavy Ziploc bags that I cut up, wrapped it around the box, and taped them on, and then just started slapping on the paper mache. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are all kinds of elaborate recipes online. You know, this many parts of flour to water. You can add glue, you can add salt,
right.
Boil it for this long. So my wife was really helpful. Mm-hmm. So she just said, just, you know, some flour, some water, mix it up and you're ready. So.
Yeah. I like the really elaborate ones where they tell you to add essential oils, which are probably helpful. Like if you're working with a really, you know, active kid who might need to huff some lavender. But
right.
Those are really fun. Nice. So what are you going to put in it?
Hopefully I'm going to be using it in this very room because this is the room that I use for all of my Zoom meetings and everything at work. I sit in this silly room, you know, 8 hours a day sometimes, and I don't have any shelves at all. So I'm going to start my paper mache shelf collection.
Love it. Nice. Well, let us know what kind of weight-bearing capabilities it has. Figure that out.
Right.
Cool. You guys, this has been super fun. Made a container, made things out of containers. Containers can be your head, your heart, whatever it is that can hold anything and everything, physical or otherwise. Thank you for the ideas, as always. And thank you for the playtime and creativity.
You bet. It was fun.
Always. Yeah, next week's theme is letters. So we'll see. Are you going to be using handwritten letters? Are you going to draw your own letters, make your own letters, make something out of letters, letter collage, stuff that has letters on it? It'll be exciting, as always. Well, Aurora, Mackenzie, Christopher, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure, and I'll see you guys again soon, okay?
Bye.
See ya.
Take care.